Yo, so a third video in this saga of me reviewing unbiasedly Pirate Software stuff. So I did two videos reviewing code and the diff file using Coding Jesus' videos. And this video we're gonna use Lord Frogmire video about Pirate Software's game is worse than you could imagine. So I think right now we'll be reviewing the game. And I'm pretty sure this will be the last video in the Pirate Software drama stuff, because I don't want to build this channel on drama. I do not love drama that much, honestly. But I said like it's a hot topic, and I think it would be cool if I could get my unbiased opinion in there. So let's just review the video here, and let's see what we're talking about here.
Pirate Software is an indie game dev streamer who promoted the idea that anyone can make a game. With the help of a definitely not fake, sultry, deep voice, he became the biggest...
Okay, definitely not fake is I don't know, it's like passive aggressive. I don't know. But I did see the claims that he's using a voice faker. And even if that's true, like who gives a fuck, right? Like nobody cares. Even if it's true, he's just insecure about his voice. He doesn't feel like it's deep enough, then who cares?
Indie game developer creator on all of Twitch and YouTube. However, all of that came crashing down once people figured out that his entire persona was a lie. He claimed to have been working in the gaming industry for over 20 years. The reality is, his daddy got him a job in QA at Blizzard, and from there he went on to send phishing emails, basically asking people politely for the passwords.
Okay, so the video is starting off like very heavy on JSON and the work of like phishing and social engineering. If you've ever heard about Kevin Mitnick, he's one of the top tier just ethical hackers of all time, and he's specifically like a social engineer. Like he's just insane, essentially. So you do not belittle the work of social engineering, even if that was only Jason's job. And I do understand that he giving himself larger than life like status, saying he was a hacker and he was lead security engineer and all of that cool stuff. And then it all boils down to him just sending phishing emails. Yeah, I understand the criticism there. But in the process, do not belittle the work of cybersecurity and social engineering, because to this day, the weakest link of a chain of I guess you could say the most complex, the most convoluted security of everything is humans. The weakest link and the easiest to hack are humans. So social engineering is very important, and sending phishing email is a very effective way of hacking companies and corporations. So yeah, I understand the criticism, but do not in the process make the work of social engineering just irrelevant.
Obviously that...
Also, his daddy got him a job at Blizzard. There's no problem with nepotism whatsoever. Make use of every single chance that you ever get. Life is unfair, and whenever you get the advantage, just use that. If my dad could give me a job in Amazon, I would take that any day. Yeah, I would call everywhere that this is nepotism and that I got this job only because of my father. I do not care, and this is fine for me. But again, if this is like if Thor is just saying he got it off of his own merit, but not giving credits to his dad, while it was his dad, I would understand the criticism. But again, nepotism is not inherently wrong, only if you don't like give it credit and just say it was nepotism that got me this opportunity.
Calls into question his supposed expertise, but he is always primarily focused on indie games, and he has made an indie game, so who cares if all of it...
Is it raining in the room?
On indie games, and he has...
sorry for the flashbang there.
...has made an indie game, so who cares if all of his experience at Blizzard is fake?
Like it's
the
raining
question
in the room.
We should be asking is...
So the little rain reflections here, this is pretty cool. Like we gotta give credits where credits due, right? Like this is what we do on this channel. We try to be as unbiased as possible. The artwork for the game looks super duper cool. Like come on, the rain in the room is a very good detail. The whenever lore,
Focused on
sorry for the third flashbang. So whenever
indie games, and he
first of all, the thunder for the flashbang is pretty cool. His little slippers
has
here.
made an indie game.
He's wearing socks and then he goes down to wear his slippers. The reflection of rain
So
here.
who cares?
Like, come on, these are all some really good small details. Yeah, it's not Thor's work, it's the sprite work, but credits where credits due. It's a game that we're reviewing here. It's not just Pirate Software. We're reviewing the game right now.
If all of his experience at Blizzard is fake, the question we should be asking is his indie game any good? I mean, the answer.
He's out like a...
The question we should be asking is his indie game
He's out like a light?
any good? I mean, the answer is obviously no. But how bad really is it? It's worse than you could possibly imagine. What made me look into the game in the first place was being shown the code from the game. And I say, with no exaggeration, it is the worst I have ever seen. It is baffling in the sense that I genuinely believe it was made bad on purpose. But
Okay, maybe he's exaggerating a little bit right here. Like the worst you've ever seen is a tiny bit of an exaggeration. There has to be way worse, and probably if you're a programmer, you would have written like, if not worse, then at least same quality code as you're starting. Yeah, Thor of course is not starting, and he's been saying about himself 20 years of experience, ex Blizzard, ex Amazon, ex whatever. And that's the problem that I have with Pirate Software. He's presenting himself as this super cool authority, raising the bar to the roof, not even the roof, to the sky. And then this is the quality that he produces. I spoke about that in my original video, so I'm not going to repeat myself. But again, like, do not exaggerate so much that this is the worst shit that you've ever seen and so on.
I'll leave the code review till the end of the video, but just keep that in mind while I'm describing the game.
So I will not be doing a code review again because I did a 1 hour video over that, and I don't want to like repeat myself and keep just milking content because I hate that, and I don't want to build this channel on this thing. So we'll be commenting only on the game right here, using this video as a base. But again, if it's like heavy coding wise, I will not be commenting on those. This is a dedicated video for that.
Underlying code is a jumbled mess of incoherent nonsense. So without further ado, subscribe to Lord Frogmire and let's look at this absolute piece of shit. So
absolute piece of shit. Okay, so this feeling here is giving me Stardew Valley aura. Like you just kill the mobs and then the way or the path to the next level of the cave or the mine is shown.
Subscribe to Lord Frogmire and let's look.
You go down and then the ladder is there. I said stairs, I think it's a ladder technically, and then it would take you to the next level and so on. So this is the vibes I'm getting from this, and it's pretty cool. I'm not saying it's like plagiarism or anything. This looks pretty cool, but it looks completely unalive. Like there are no mobs here. You cannot do combat, for example. You cannot do anything.
At this absolute piece of shit. So let's start with going over the gameplay.
I don't like using exaggerated words like absolute piece of shit and it's fucking garbage and there is nothing that's completely making sense in it. Yeah, there are some bad stuff about the game, but I like to stay as unbiased as possible.
And we're going to be able to go over literally every single piece of gameplay that is not walking or talking, because there is genuinely that little within a single route of the game. Because that's all I played. You could not pay me $10,000 to play any more of this game.
Come on, dude. If there's 10,000 on the line, I'd definitely play the game. Like, come on.
There are exactly 3 puzzle sections, 5 total puzzles, and this is being very generous with what I consider a puzzle, by the way. A single combat section, 1 battle, yes, 1 that is repeated, so that's 2 total battles, but only 1 unique fight, and 2 mini games. That's it. If you want to be extremely generous, there is one more mini game, puzzle. Literally all you do is click on a couple objects. Yes, that's literally all you do is click on a couple
Look at the facial expression
more
of
mini
Florian.
game, puzzle. Literally all you do is click.
Look at this. This is beautiful. Look at this freaking bro. This is so good. Okay, I have to commend the art style and the artist for this game. That is 10 out of 10, bro. I should make this like a sticker or something or an emote. This is super good. Also look at this super chill frog over here. There are some like the art style is super good.
On a couple objects. Yes, that's literally it, but technically that's better than just walking and talking. This was a Kickstarter game, by the way. A Kickstarter game that advertised its combat, which its only unique combat encounter was advertised in the Kickstarter campaign that was funded in 2017 and raised $20,000. So in 8 years, he could not make a single combat encounter that he advertised as a primary part of the game with $20,000, let alone.
Yeah, okay, it looks bad. So yeah, he got a lot of money for it and not a lot to show for it. I do understand the criticism and I totally agree here.
All of the sales the game got once it was released in early access. So while I'm going over the very limited gameplay that actually exists in the game, remember that this was a Kickstarter scam that was advertised as a real RPG with real gameplay. Okay, so our first section of gameplay is a...
So I should have like said that there are spoilers for the game here, obviously, since we're reviewing the game and the gameplay. So if you want to play the game for yourself, then do not watch this video. But if you do not care and you just want to see the review, then yeah, let's keep going.
A log pushing puzzle. Yes, this is how generous I was being when I said there were 5 puzzles in the game. I don't think there's really anything to discuss here because if there wasn't so few gameplay sections to begin with, no one would ever mention this. Okay, now...
Okay, the first puzzle doesn't look too bad, like a tutorial puzzle or something.
We have the first and only unique combat encounter that was shown.
Again, going back to the art style, this is top tier. I love the emotion and the art style of this. Also, you can see his pajamas are a little bit showing under his hoodie. That's beautiful. That is super beautiful.
In the kick.
You know what I would have liked? If his tears actually left the marks on the hoodie, but maybe that's too much to ask for. That would have been cool. The art style overall is just beautiful. I love the art style. Kudos to the artist of this game.
Starter trailer. It is a WarioWare minigame.
So I don't like that the avatar here looks emotionless. He should be terrified. Like, imagine you're searching for your dog in the middle of the night. You see this scene, and then there is whatever the heck that creature is. It's like a malformed alien or a flower or whatever. And then you're just emotionless, expressionless. Nah, you should have been like terrified, or at least like in agony or like scared of not finding his dog. You know.
Compilation in his.
We gotta commend the art style where we find it, or where due, and then we gotta say what they did wrong.
Perfectly serviceable for a tutorial encounter. Not all of the combat in the entire game. All it is 4 very simple micro games
Very simple micro games that it gets hit.
where if you succeed,
No, I'm just joking. Yeah, this is a very simple way of implementing combat. Not necessarily bad. I'm just saying it's simple.
the enemy takes damage, and if you fail, you take damage. That's it. Perfectly serviceable, but very simple, very basic. This encounter is about 1 minute long. And remember, that is one of
He messed up Simon Says.
2 encounters that are in the game. From here, we now have 3 puzzles in a row. Only 1 more puzzle exists in the game after this. And if I wasn't being so generous, I wouldn't call them puzzles at all. And I don't mean that they're easy. Do you remember those little things that babies use where it's a circle hole and a circle block and a triangle hole and a triangle block? That's what I would call an easy puzzle. What makes it a puzzle is you still have options. You could fuck up and try and put the triangle block in the circle hole. That's not what these puzzles are. These, you have a square hole and a square block and literally nothing else. You cannot fail these. There is only one option. If you try the
I love the gameplay of this.
only possible thing, you will complete the puzzle. Look at this first puzzle. You can only push these blocks and nothing else. You can only push those blocks in one direction, nowhere else, and that's all you have to do. Push those 2 blocks in the only places they can possibly go, and you have now completed the puzzle. And you might say, maybe that's just to teach you the mechanics.
Wait, so this was not in place? Yeah, I guess so. Like, there's a little bit of padding here. But it does look like it's in place, although it's not aligned with this. You'd figure out this pretty quickly, but I don't think that's the best design here.
Go, and you have now completed the puzzle. And you might say, maybe that's just to teach you the mechanics, but it doesn't get better from there.
Why is there like a marker here for a 90-degree angle? Do these mean anything? I guess it does. I mean, yeah, looking at the angle of the laser here and then the angle of the laser here, they match this. Is that a hint?
You might say,
no, it's not a hint. They don't show.
Hey, maybe that's just to teach.
Oh, wait, now it shows. Okay.
Possibly go.
So if it's not in place, this stays white.
Oh, and you have now completed the puzzle.
When
And
it's
you
in
might
place,
say,
you
maybe
can
that's
see
just
that
to
it
teach.
changes here. So it gives you like, yeah, you're on the right track, bro. Just activate the laser. Okay. I do like little hints like that. This is cool.
Teach you the mechanics, but it doesn't get better from there. Puzzle number 2. All you can interact with are the switches. There is nothing else you can do. All you have to do is keep activating switches until you win. You could close your eyes. You do not have to think. There
Is that a sock? Is that like a collectible or something?
is no fail state. You just hit the switches until you succeed. Hit every switch to
You found the levitating sock space. I'm gonna critique the writing here, forcing quirkiness and like smugness in every single line or whenever you can is completely unnecessary, and it just ruins parts where you actually being funny. So being unfunny for so many times is going to take away credit for when you're genuinely funny. So use this with caution.
complete the puzzle. That's what I'm talking about when I say it's square peg and square hole. All you have to do is try and you succeed. As long as you are engaging with the game at all, you're moving forward. There is no thought necessary at all. That's why I don't consider it a puzzle.
I agree with what Frogmire is saying here. If you cannot get the puzzle wrong, I don't think it's qualified to be a puzzle. Otherwise, what is it? It's a brute force, I guess. Even a brute force, that means you get it wrong and then you try the next possible option until you get it right. But in this scenario, there's no wrong option, I would assume. Unless you can consider like switching the wrong switch here. But I don't know, I feel it's pretty simple, especially that we got introduced to these switches in the previous room. So this should be a little bit more complicated.
There is no thought necessary at all. That's why I don't consider it a puzzle. There is no triangle block for you to put in the square hole. And puzzle number 3 is literally the exact same thing as puzzle number 1. All you have to do is push the only blocks that you could possibly push in the only direction they will possibly go, then you flip the switches and you've succeeded. Literally no thought whatsoever. It's not a puzzle, but I'm being generous, so we'll give it to them. There are now 4 puzzles in the game, and you see the quality.
So you can pass by here, but you cannot see it because of this pillar. I mean, we will not, I guess, discuss like level design or anything in depth because I'm not qualified to do so. But I don't know if this is considered like good design or not. I mean, you can easily know that you can pass by here, but here I don't know.
Combat encounter,
Anyway.
4 puzzles. We're almost done with all of the gameplay.
I mean, I guess it makes sense that the switches here, there's no other way to go through. Like, you cannot jump, basically, the gap or something. So, yeah, I guess. Never mind. I guess it's okay.
by the way. Gameplay that was in the game in 2017. After this, you get the final combat encounter in the 2017. After
Look at the emotion
this,
here.
you get the final
Pretty
combat
good.
encounter in the
Then it goes into this. Nah.
entire game, which is the exact same fight as before, except this time you get to fight him for 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So that means in this game that has been developed for over 8 years, there is 3 minutes and 30 seconds
So you threw the axe
over 8
at the guy and then the axe disappeared. At least like give the axe some special power like Thor, that he could call his hammer back, or maybe like God of War, he could bring his axe back. So maybe give Lore some kind of like, I guess you would call it a special power like that, where he can bring the axe back. So that would explain why he can use the axe again to destroy the falling rocks.
years. There is 3 minutes and 30 seconds
Also, I don't like that Thor's not doing anything here when he clicks on these. Like, I don't know, it takes the immersion out of it a bit. Maybe if he just swings the axe, and maybe in order for you to complete that, instead of just clicking on them, you actually have to face it. So like be standing in front of it and then click at the correct moment in order for the axe swing to hit the rock and destroy it. And if you don't get it right, then the rock is going to hit you. I don't know, little things like that. But then again, you would argue that you could just dodge the rocks and not destroy them at all. Which is correct. So maybe just make Thor still take damage. So when the rock just passes the threshold here, it would just break and the shrapnel would hit Thor. Lore, I guess. So yeah, stuff like that, so that actually even if you're trying to dodge, you will not run away from the shrapnel that the rock is going to explode into. So you're forced to destroy them or try to destroy them.
of combat. $20,000, by the way. Do you feel scammed yet? Well, we still have one more puzzle.
I wouldn't call it okay, actually I'm a bit skeptical about calling this a scam, because he did have a Kickstarter or a GoFundMe or whatever, essentially for a completed game. So he promised that he's gonna deliver a completed game, but he didn't yet. So I don't know if this is qualified as a scam or not. There is a game, it's just incomplete. So I'll be a bit careful about calling this a scam or not.
And 2 mini games to go, so save your judgment. This last puzzle is the only thing I would even consider a puzzle in the game, and all it is you're searching a room for clues to a 4-digit code.
There's a sock that is hanging over here. Is that a collectible too?
Yup, that's it. But it is a puzzle. You do have to try and figure out.
Also, the overusage of red here is super bad. I don't know if people could get like, if they're, oops. I don't know if there's like eye sensitivity to red or something like that, but maybe I can see people getting annoyed by this much red.
What the numbers are. So I'll give it to him. The game has a one real puzzle, and the best part about it is you can just skip it. If you don't want to do it, the game tells you can just input 7 ones and it'll let you through any.
Did he just say there are no pins? They're just drawn.
If you
on
don't
the
want to do
table?
it, the game tells you you can
These aren't even pins. They're just drawn onto the table.
just input 7 ones and it'll let you through anyway. Who knows what the punishment is for that, but I'm sure it doesn't matter. I did actually do the puzzle though, because I wanted to experience all this game had to offer. Was it worth it? Honestly, at this point, yes it was, because at least I got to play some video game in my video game. Okay, moving on. We're almost done.
So if you don't want to do the puzzle, you just enter 7 ones and that's it.
On to the first.
What's the point of the puzzle then, I guess? Players are known to just take the least, the path of least resistance, or like the thing that is very easy to them, that is super easy to them, at least on their first playthrough. So a game like this, you're not super sure that you're gonna get a second playthrough, at least not yet. You promised a lot of like branching out, and a lot of decisions are gonna influence how the game plays, but you don't have that implemented yet. At least that's what I'm assuming from what I'm seeing right now. So if you allow users to skip the puzzle, they're gonna skip the puzzle.
Mini game of only 2, so it better be worth it. It is a game in which you get a picture of either a sandwich or a soda, and then you have to give them the sandwich or soda in the order they ask for. So if they ask for soda sandwich, you give them a soda, then you give them a sandwich. They ask for sandwich, you give them a sandwich.
So order matters.
And then a sandwich. Does this sound fun? Does it sound interesting? Does it sound like it took 8 years to make? And that's half of all of the mini games in this video game is this. Just soak it in for a second. I want you to burn this into your mind, because when we move on to talk about the code and how bad it is, I want you to keep in mind what he's coding, like what he's doing this for. Think to yourself, could this be done in RPG Maker? So far, except the one and only combat encounter, there is nothing here that could not be done in RPG Maker with literally no coding at all. But maybe this last minigame will change my mind. It'll truly blow everything else out of the water. Nope, it's just as bad as everything else.
I will not be commenting on code or technicalities here again. Like I said, it's not a separate.
Come on, what did you expect? This is something that you make for your first game. It is one step beyond Hello World. It is a game in which you must dodge falling objects. Yes, I know, you're technically supposed to be running forward, but programming-wise, that's literally all it is. You're dodging falling objects while trying to hit the object you want. That's it. There's nothing else to it. This is while trying to hit the object you want. That's it.
Say? Infuriated clucking. Oh boy.
There's nothing else to it. This is something you teach a middle schooler how to do for their very first coding class, and that's all of the gameplay in the whole game. And looking at all this, and that's all of the gameplay.
How many of these things did you plant
in the whole game?
Yes. Okay, that's not as bad as the other things. So this is like a good joke, a good meme. But again, the overusage of quirky lines every line, like every now and then, undermines moments like these where genuine memes are actually like pretty funny and used well. Also, again, going back to the facial expressions, that shit is pretty good. Like, credits for credits due.
All this, I just don't get it. Like, I'm genuinely confused. When Pirate Software told everyone that he worked on video games for 20 years, that he worked
I just want to know what
as
a
hacker.
Are these bodies, or what the heck is that? Is that a banana peel, or what's that?
Why did anyone believe him when this was what he was putting out? Why did it take this long for people to...
Also, what is this extra green? Is that like the sun going through trees? Tree lines? Or why does this look like a face? Are these mushrooms? Small quirky things, but overall the design is
call him out for being a fraud.
Yeah, so you can step through on these little green things, so I'm guessing they're just like light going through tree lines.
When this is his magnum opus that took him 8 years. 8 years of perfecting your craft.
Oh, no. Don't tell me he used the same thing
that took
again.
him 8 years. 8 years.
How many more do you need? Yes. No. The first time it was good. It was used well, but this time...
Your craft. For something a middle schooler could make.
Again, the usage of just 3 dots.
This isn't the work of a professional. This isn't even the work of an amateur. It's pathetic. The worst part is, after scamming his...
Being pretty harsh on the dudes. Saying it's pathetic and stuff. Not everybody likes the same things, so... I will not be commenting on, like, just adjectives of the game. I'm trying to stay as unbiased and as objective as possible. But I can see why people are mad, especially those who paid for the GoFundMe.
His own...
or the Kickstarter, whatever it was.
Fans out of $20,000 and more. He has the balls to bait you into thinking there was another boss fight. You are seconds away from fighting an enemy literally called boss, and it fakes you out with a fake battle screen only to give a shitty Chrono Trigger-esque judgment segment where you hurt the boss by making good decisions. This is what I'm talking about, where
Yeah, I don't like that as well. Like, you're just gonna get your players excited. Yo, we're gonna have a boss fight and then nothing.
I say it's baffling that it's taken this long for someone to call this guy out. He's been literally scamming and fucking with his own fans for years. But I'm getting ahead of myself. It's time to talk about the story. And that was for years. But he's been literally baffling that it's taken this long for someone to call years. But he's been literally scamming and fucking with his
what? That is not good writing, honestly. Like it's like teenagers fighting. Like, yo, bro, I'm gonna beat you up, bro. Just stop it. Oops. Nah.
Own fans for years. But I'm getting ahead of myself. It's time to talk about the story. And that was clearly the focus of the game. Because the gameplay is only about, and I'm being very the focus of the game.
Wait.
Because the gameplay is
The gems are too strong to turn off. The jellies are pretty tough too. Is that a gem and jelly joke again? Like the one from the door at the start of the game where... Okay, I can see why people are mad. Like, their writing is terrible. The jokes, every single object that you interact with, this should not take you this many years. I understand why are people just throwing criticism at the game left and right.
is only about, and I'm being very generous here, 10 minutes. So the rest of this entire game is walking around and
Why are the windows floating?
talking to NPCs. So is the writing good? I mean, come on. That's not even a rhetorical at this point, because I know you're not asking it. Obviously, it's bad. Of course it's bad. But compared to the gameplay, it's not that bad. I would describe it as general 13-year-old girl writing. Like maybe something you'd see on someone's Tumblr fan fiction account, like about that level. There are a couple really cringy lines of dialogue that are funny. Like he unironically says sad armadillo noises, but it doesn't really get any more interesting than that. The real problem with the story of this game is the same problem you see in any teenage writing, that the game never gives you a reason to care about anything. Going back to that fake out boss fight, this is a boss fight where it's revealed that it's your mom, that you have mommy issues, and you defeat her
Okay.
by proving that you're not like her, where she accuses you of being evil, and then it checks your previous actions to see if they line up with her beliefs. And if you defied her and were a good person, you defeat her. It's clearly supposed to be a big emotion, and we're
Wait,
a good person.
am I getting the option to choose here, or is this just a replay of what I chose? So if I get the option to choose right here to deal damage, then are we just gaslighting her? Like, we could have actually stolen the apple, but then when she asks about it, we could just say no, we didn't, and we just gaslight her and we deal damage that way? I don't think that's how it works, right? That would be pretty stupid. So I'm guessing like you didn't even get the option to do that in the past, and you're getting the option to do it now, which also means that it's stupid because you're in full control of what you do. So you can beat the boss no matter what by just choosing the morally good choices here. I'm confused. Or is this just a replay of what you chose before? I actually don't know. Let's hear what he has to say.
To see if they line up with her beliefs. And if you defied her and were a good person, you defeat her. It's clearly supposed to be a big emotional moment. The problem is we have no reason to care about any of this because before this exchange, there's literally only one encounter with your mom that you weren't even there for. It's a flashback of your mom talking to your dad where she calls you
Wait, cuddling was an O, isn't it? Was a U, or is that a different word? I actually don't know what cuddling was an O that means. I need to Google that. Hold up. Treating someone with excessive care, indulgence, or protection. Okay, that is a word I just didn't know about. Cool. We learned something.
Lazy and the dad pathetic. That's it. There's nothing else. There is no other reason to believe the mom.
So that thing, she's referring to the dog? And then they're just fighting on the stairs?
Is even abusive, let alone so evil that we had to have a boss fight about it. And that's not even the worst part, where she chastises you for your decisions that include decisions you didn't even make. She accuses you of killing this character when I didn't even have the option. If I knew I could kill that character, I probably would have. It would have been funny. So when she's like, oh, I bet you killed that guy, and you're like, no, I would never do that. Except I would totally do that. I just never got the option. It doesn't show good moral character to just not press A on every possible thing. And
so it seems like from the context of this, you actually choose as she asks you, which is pretty stupid, honestly, because again, it's not a puzzle, it's not a fight. It's you just choose what was going to like make her take damage. Also, what if I'm playing evil? Like what if I do want to murder Joe for some reason? Then does that mean I just lose points, lose HP, and then I just die and lose the game if I want to play evil? So that means there's no option of playing evil. I honestly don't know how that works, but if you can just choose while she's actively asking you, that means there's no way for you to lose the fight at all. So it's not a fight. It's a scripted win, essentially.
the worst example of the game failing to make you care about something is the whole point of the game. The reason why you're doing everything in the center of your character is that your dog dies. Your talking dog, who's your best friend, dies, and you must go save him, sort of. Yeah, it really seems like he's dead forever, but that's what you're trying to do, is save him. The problem being, you literally only spend the first 5 minutes of the game with the dog. Why in the fuck should I care about this dog? I've spent no time with him. I know nothing about him. I know they're friends. That's it. That's like someone going up to you and being like, hey, my neighbor's brother's daughter's dog died. Isn't that sad?
Yeah.
And you'd be like, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, that's sad. That sucks. But I don't care. It doesn't make me want to play this whole game and...
Yeah, okay. It's pretty harsh about it, but he has a point. Like, millions of dogs die every day. I love dogs, but it's just reality, and you cannot. Yeah, you can be sad about knowing that a specific dog died, but again, you cannot just change the world and like be sad about every single bad thing that happens, because there's a lot of them. And he makes sense here, that if we do not build a personal connection with that dog, then we should not give a fuck. Yeah, I agree. And there's no reason, there's no like incentive for us to play the game. You know how some old games that you actually have played dozens of times, but every time you just start a new game of that same game, even though you know the story and you've done it pretty like a million times, and you were the hero, you saved the city, or you saved the princess, or you did whatever the game's point of playing. But again, whenever you start a new game, you just cannot leave it unfinished. You have to go through the entire game, just because of the moral connection and how good the story is. And like every time you start it, you have to finish it to see that awesome conclusive ending. Looks like this is not the case here.
Fight for whatever. You have to get me to care about this. Show me how the dog helped him deal with his abusive mother. You have to show me that. This is literally first grade writing, by the way, by a 40-year-old man. Yes, this game that looks like it was made by a teenage girl and is written like it was made by a teenage girl was made by a 37-year-old man. I mean,
Stop A-shaming, bruh. Stop A-shaming me. 37. Okay, it is a pretty weird that someone as old and mature. Okay, I should not say old. Maybe that's offensive or something. But as 37 as Pirate Software is, it feels a little bit weird writing stuff that is below his age. I don't know.
There really isn't anything else
Wait, what is that?
made by a teenage girl and is written like it was made by a teenage girl was made by a 37-year-old man. I mean, there really
Clearly, I'm Amelia. Why is this written in this rainbow?
isn't anything else to talk about the story. Nothing happens. The real problem is the game doesn't have real characters. They're all just caricatures.
There's a lot of usage of dots. I don't know why I don't like it.
Only character that has more than a handful of lines is the main character, and the only thing I know about him is that he cares about his dog and he has an abusive mother. Maybe he's a bit sarcastic sometimes. I don't even know what he likes, what he dislikes, what does he have fun doing, how does he feel about things? Is he right wing? Is he left wing? How would he feel about the Federal Reserve? I don't know. I don't know anything about him. And I actually read every piece of mandatory dialogue. It's not like I was just skipping through things. The game is just so busy trying to make funny lines that are profoundly cringe that it never...
Profoundly cringe. I do... it's harsh, but I do agree that over excess usage, like a little bit of cringe is fine, but over like excess usage of cringe just causes a die of cringe emote.
Tries to say anything about anything. Actually, it does try and make one statement. It does have a line about how in the corporate world, you never go up, you only go sideways. No, Thor, that's just you, and it's because you're bad. No one was ever going to promote you out of QA when you can't fucking program.
Okay, that's a bit personal. That's personal attacking. We do not know if he's bad or he's just rage baiting, honestly. But at this point, I will refrain from commenting on this. It's just personal attack, and I don't like doing that.
You can't write, and you're clearly an idiot. And what doesn't help the story is how much you know he's holding back, and for no reason. Another very common novice writer mistake is focusing too much on the reveal and not enough on the buildup. After your dog dies.
That is a good point. That is a very good point. The build-up is as important as the reveal because the build-up is just builds up all the hype, and then the reveal has much more power rather than just a weak build-up and then a sudden reveal that loses weight because the build-up is just what makes you excited. Again, going back to the game example where you play games that you have played before and you already know the outcome, but you still play them. That's because the build-up is often pretty good, so you enjoy going through the build-up, and then going through the like the final moments of the game or like the reveal is still pretty cool.
You're feeling constant guilt, where it's like, oh, it's your fault, you killed the dog, and it doesn't make any sense. Because how the dog dies is you're just asleep and you wake up and the dog is dead. It has nothing to do with you. A monster killed it while you were asleep. It couldn't possibly be your fault. So
how heavy Lord Sleeping gotta be that a monster goes in and kills our dog and we're still asleep?
clearly there is some kind of reveal later in the game where the dog died for a real reason and the monster's not real or something like that. Because as it is now, it doesn't make any sense. I have no reason to be like, I killed this dog. I didn't do anything, and neither did the kid. And there's no reason for him to feel this way. It just doesn't make sense. So the story's bad, the gameplay's bad. What else is there? What could possibly make this game worth playing? Well, one of the big selling points is the multiple routes, that all of your decisions matter. I've already told you I only played one route, the good route, and if you've listened to a single word I've said so far, you know exactly why. But let me tell you now, the decision making is just as bad as the rest of the game. You literally have an evil voice telling you which is the bad option and which is the good option. It is literally as overt as listen to this character's problems and be nice, or kill them. And just in case, it's slightly more subtle than hitting you.
I wonder which one is the good route.
in the back of the head with a sledgehammer, you have the evil voice in your head telling you what the evil option is. No, the choices obviously don't matter, because being forced to play this game again is a form of cruel and unusual punishment. But that's the whole game. That's it. And why do you think there is so little? Probably because there's only one completed chapter. Yes, that's it. You have one chapter about, who knows, maybe half of chapter 2, maybe it's 75%. I have no idea how much more there could be. And then the very opening of chapter 3. That's all that's completed in 8 years.
Yeah, it's bad. Putting it like that and then just saying 8 years, I want you to imagine that there's, for example, a game that, okay, let's all just take this example. GTA 6. And then let's just say Rockstar comes tomorrow and says GTA 6 will be released but after 8 years. Now imagine that, and then you'll know how big of a time frame 8 years is. Yeah.
He's completed one chapter of an unplayably bad game. So yeah, maybe.
Okay, excessive usage of adjectives, unplayably bad game. Okay, I mean, I do agree the game is not great, but just calling it unplayable and bad is a little bit subjective, I would say. Some people maybe would like these kind of games, maybe younger audience, you know. But the game is not what it was promised, obviously. And then again, it's not complete, so that means there's a problem that Pirate Software collected money for a full version of the game, and he has not delivered that. So that's another problem. And then 3, he's saying that the writing is the reason that the game is delayed so much. And this is not convincing for a lot of reasons. The most important of them, the writing is not specifically sophisticated, or he's not going through the dictionary and then finding just overly awesome words to use. He's just writing like cringy, an excessive usage of cringy lines that would make the writing like even more simpleton than any good writing would be. So the writing 100%, I don't think that's the reason. So I do understand where the criticism is coming from, and it is well deserved, but I just don't like going after the person directly. I don't like going after like Pirate Software directly, just going after his actions and what the game state is at the moment.
There's more character development in the rest of the game, and maybe they'll make me really care about that dead dog. Character development in the rest of the game, and maybe they'll make me
he just carries bro and runs with it. Like, he pulled up a rescue mission over here.
Really care about that dead dog, but I have the strangest feeling that none of that's ever going to happen, that the game is never going to be finished, because at this rate, it's going to take him the rest of his life. He will die before this game is completed. So is the game worth playing? No. Is it bad? Obviously. This is something a teenage girl makes for a school project in RPG Maker, not something made by a nearly 40-year-old man on a 3-person team. Now it's...
I mean, the 3-person team, one of them was developing the code, which is Pirate Software, and then someone for the art style and someone for the music. I'm pretty sure that was the team. I'm so sorry, I don't know the names of the other two team members. I apologize. But so I guess everybody is just doing their job. I don't know about the music in the game because I did not play the game. I'm just reviewing what I'm seeing right here. The art is I think it's pretty good. There are some things that could be better, just like anything else in the world. Everything could be improved and could be better. But overall, from what we're seeing, the art style is pretty good. And then the code, we reviewed the code in a separate video, but overall it's not the best. But again, we're giving some leeway because Pirate Software is a solo developer. So we're okay with it not being perfect. But again, if it actually gets in the way of completing the game or delivering updates or anything in the future, then we have to criticize it because it's actually negatively affecting the game. So overall, yeah, I don't think the game is good. I think the game is bad, and I would rate it as bad. But again, one, it's an unfinished game, which is a problem in of itself. And 2, there has not been progress going so far for a while now. And this is also concerning because of all the people that paid money in the Kickstarter and actually who bought the game from Steam and then exceeded 2 hours for the refund window. So these people are stuck now with an unfinished game that they cannot even get the conclusion of. Even if the conclusion is bad or the game is bad or the gameplay is bad or whatever, they cannot even finish it, which they did not play. They did not get what they paid for. They did not play the full game. These are the main concerns that I have with the game right now.
Finally, time to talk about the code. Now that you have the full context,
I will not be commenting on the code at all. Again, this is, I think, for the third time. I made a separate video for this. So we're just going to skim through it.
you can understand not only why is this bad, but why it was completely unnecessary, because the entire game could be made.
I'm going to put this in 2 times because I don't want to comment on the code, but I still want to see what's going on here in case there is something new that I could comment on.
With no coding at all in RPG Maker. 99% of the game is just walking around and talking to people. RPG Maker games with no RPG elements that are just walking and talking have been made since the beginning of fucking time. This game would actually be better if it was made in RPG.
Fucking is just being replaced with was a placeholder. That's cool. Okay, I gotta like closed caption in YouTube.
Maker. Because he fucked up something as simple as just showing text on the screen. How the game works is you left click to enter dialogue. Then if you're going to progress the text, which you're going to have to do if you can read at a first grade level, you must then right click. Then if you want to move on to the next text box, you can't right click, you have to left click again. So just reading is this song.
Oh, left click, right click, left click. That could get annoying. Yeah, I can see how doing that for every single piece of dialogue is gonna become super annoying.
And dance of left click, right click, left click, left click, right click, left click. You see how that might get annoying really fucking fast? Or if you're as bored as I was, it's the only fun part of the game. Anyway, there you go.
Damn.
Oh, that's it. This is the code I wanted to talk about. No, it's not the 1000 element switch statement. Yes.
Global storyline. Okay, yeah, so we talked about this. There's no reason.
That's real. No, it's not the array of flags with 560 elements all listed out in a row. Yes, that exists also. It's just this. Now, if you've never coded before, you might not understand why this is so bad, that this was so shocking that it made me create this video. Let me start by explaining what a switch is. The switch is a form of go to, because literally all it does is go to a section of code. That's it. In this case, we take the argument global.storyline array 333. God, that is insane to say, by the way. And based on what that value is, we go to that case. So if the value is 1, we go to case 1. If the value is 2, we go to case 2. And this doesn't have to be in order. You could have case 333 and then case 12 right after that. You can do whatever you
switch poop, end poop, switch poop. Poop is 333. Okay.
want. It's just whatever the value is, we go to the case that has that value. Now, the much simpler version of this is an if statement. All an if statement is if whatever is in those parentheses is true, then we do what's in that block. Now that you understand those two things, you are now a better programmer than our hacker genius here. Because what you see here is complete absurdity. He does not know the purpose of an if statement or a switch or how to use them. I'm gonna give you 1 second to see what is wrong with the switch. All right, you ready? Why is it not an if? Why?
I just have one quick comment. It's right here. If it's case 2 road, then do nothing. There's no point of writing this code at all. You could just delete it because you're literally just not doing anything. So you could just delete this and be done with it. Why is this existing, honestly? Maybe he's trying to be explicit that, like in Rose's case, we're doing nothing specifically. But then this could just be a comment instead of writing a case in the code and then letting the compiler like just check and do extra work. In case of case 2, oh, I have to do nothing. So this is good to just be replaced with a comment. If you want to be explicit about if it's road, then do nothing. But it doesn't look like that. I don't know. This is pretty funny to me. I did not see this in my previous video.
Why is there code that even says do nothing? Want to know how you do nothing in code? You just don't write it. So if we delete case 2, again, there's nothing there. There's nothing to do. If we just got rid of it, it'd be exactly the same. We are now left with a switch that has a singular
Yeah, and a switch was a singular case. It could just be replaced with an if statement.
case. So what that means is we check what is the value of our global whatever the fuck. If it is 1, we go to case 1, and there is nothing else to check because there are no other cases. Do you see the problem now? We could literally just write this as an if statement. And what's the peak absurdity is that's literally what he did directly above this. So he did it right, then immediately did it wrong right after. And even then, it's still not correct. I'll give you one more programming concept. There's something called a bool. That is what the if statement is checking for. It's checking for a boolean. A boolean is either true or false. However,
so equals 1 and equals 0 are unnecessary. You could just do the variable itself, which is gonna eventually equal to true or false.
that can also
We talked about that in the first video.
be represented as a number, where 0 is false and everything else is true. So in this if statement, he's asking, is global array whatever the fuck equal to 1? Do you see the problem there? He literally has a comment confirming that what is in that array is a boolean. So there is no reason to be checking for anything. All you do is put global.storyline array 367 and then end it there. And it works exactly the same. And then he could just do the exact same thing right below that. Global.storyline array 333 and then end it there. No switch statement, no nothing.
You could do an or statement, yeah, just like the code, just like Copilot suggested here. Like you can combine these using an OR, which is the two pipe separators or pipelines here. So two of them means OR. So if global storyline array 333 or it's 367, then you could do an instant destroy. Since both of the F statements have the same instance destroy, then you could just group them into one.
Just an if, and I'm not even going to talk about how both of those blocks of code are literally doing the exact same thing. Both of them are only calling instance destroyed. So you could literally do an or there, and then you can combine all of it into one line. And this is the point. This is why it makes me mad, because he wants his code to be big. That's the point. I've seen a bunch of code reviews on his code. Two very great videos about this.
Okay, this is not support evidence. Maybe he just does not understand coding. Which would be worse, I guess, than trying to make his trying to make his code bigger. But we do not have evidence for this, so I'm gonna refrain from commenting.
But I had to make this video because they don't point out what's important is he's doing this intentionally. He's clearly doing this to make himself look smarter because his dumb fans who don't know how to code look at that and think, whoa, look at all that code. He must be a genius. He thinks more code equals better code because he's an idiot and his fans are stupid too. Look at
Damn, dude. He's not going after Pirate Software only now. He's going after the fans as well. I don't like attacking people personally, honestly. I don't like doing that, but it's super funny when the way he says it. Whoa, look at all that code. That's super funny to me.
Here, I'll just give you one more example. Look at this. You see how it's a list of things where he's literally doing the exact same thing every time. All of this could be done with a single for loop. Yes, just one loop. Literally, all for loop is we do one thing over and over again until we hit the number of repetitions we want. And we can increment by any amount we want. In this case, we would definitely increment by one. And the cool thing is we get access to that incrementer, so we don't have to write the number every single time. But do you see the problem with that is he would have less code and then it would look less cool. He wants these giant blocks of code. He's an idiot. He's dumb. He thinks big blocks of code means he's doing a lot of work. What a fucking dipshit. Can you imagine him?
Why is he so mad at Pirate Software, bro? He's taking it personal right now. This is not criticism anymore. It's just pure insults. I want to know, why is he so mad at Pirate Software? I mean, the criticisms are deserved in the code. Again, going back or circling back to the idea that Pirate Software presented himself as a god-tier programmer and 20 years and ex-hacker and all of that. And then he produces code like that brings a lot of question about his ability to code and whatever fact that he stated. Everything is now in question because of that. But again, Frogmire, bro, you're just taking it way too personally there.
Just typing out over and over and over again, line after line after line of the exact same thing, being like, man, I guess there's no better way of doing this. Maybe he's that stupid. Honestly, he probably is, but at least part of it has to be him trying to look cool with these giant chunks of text. That's why he doesn't use loops. That's why he used a switch statement when he could use an if. That's why he's checking if true equals true. Yes, that's literally what this means. What he's typing here is true equals true. That's why he refuses to write true or false instead of 0 or 1, because numbers look cooler than true or false. That's why he refuses to use functions and will literally just repeat the exact same steps over and over again. It's because he wants to look cool. He's a child. Everything in this video so far can be explained by the fact that he is a man-child. He is a 37-year-old teenage girl. He codes like a teenager. He writes like a teenager, and he makes big, exaggerated lies just like a teenager. And just like a teenager, he will never admit when he's wrong. And that's why this entire
I mean, come on, bro. You cannot call him a teenager. I think he went through like a second puberty, and that's why his voice dropped lower or something. You cannot call that a teenager, bro. He had 2 puberties. Shut up.
controversy happened. It has nothing to do with stop killing.
Okay, I'm just kidding now. But again, I try not to attack the person personally. Yeah, I'll make jokes every now and then. If they're unfunny or they are like not going with the theme of the video, my apologies. But again, they're funny, so I'm just gonna keep doing it. But overall, like speaking seriously now, Frogmire is going way like and beyond to just attack the dude personally, which I find it kind of funny, but I try not to do when I'm just objectively reviewing and trying to be as unbiased as possible.
Games. It has nothing to do with him letting his friends die in World of Warcraft. It's that he's a child who refuses to grow up. And if you give a child millions of dollars and a ton of attention, they will fuck up eventually, and he'll never learn. You just know he'll never learn. You don't.
Come on, dude. Don't say he'll never learn. Come on. There were people that were like felt like they were irredeemable, and then they redeemed themselves. If you look at, I'm gonna say an example. I'm not gonna mention people as an example at all, but let's look at Cyberpunk. That shit, when it was released, it looked like it was beyond redeemable. And looking at the game now, the game is top tier. I think we're gonna do a gameplay of it if people would like to see that. But the game is just chef's kiss right now. It is super cool. Yeah, it has bugs and it has quirks. Every game has that. I mean, look at Skyrim. What, like a decade later, a millennia later, whatever. It still has problems, but the game is just super good. So you can skip a few bugs here and there. But again, like, do not call... if a piece of software is redeemable, then humans are also redeemable. even though it's like Pirate Software is not showing any signs of improving, but I would not like just give up on people like that. He is redeemable if he wishes so.
Get to 37 acting like a child and even have the capability of learning. And I want to make it very clear. There is nothing wrong with writing bad code. There's nothing wrong with making a bad game. There's nothing wrong with writing embarrassing dialogue. The problem with Pirate Software and why he's being mocked endlessly is he acts like an expert when he's worse than a novice. And the only reason he's this bad after working on a game for 8 years is because he already thinks he's perfect. When you think you're perfect, you have no reason to learn anymore. You should not.
This is a big problem, yeah. If you think you're perfect and there's nothing more that you could do to learn or to grow, this is a problem in of itself, because you will never become like a know-it-all, capable of doing it all. It's just impossible. Especially now, like we're talking about tech and software and stuff. In the era of AI and the like every day, literally there is something new. You cannot be in that state of I know everything, I do not need to learn anymore. That's just bullshit.
Not be afraid of failing, of making shitty things. What you should be afraid of is not learning from it. But that's just a theory. A game theory. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to Lord Frogmire. It is only thanks to my stream chat that I made this video in the first place. Maybe next stream we can go over all of his code. I'm sure people would love to see me tortured. Anyway, bye.
Okay, so I do like the video. Thanks, Lord Frogmire, for doing this. I don't like going or like personally targeting people. I do think people are still redeemable, even though like even how bad it looks. I'm going to be linking the original video in the description, so go take a look at it, subscribe, and give it a like. And again, thank you, Lord Frogmire, for doing this. And I believe that you guys are awesome. Let me know in the comments what you think. Feel free if you want to disagree with me. My way is definitely not the highway here, so disagree with me, write comments, engage, give me a like, give me a subscribe. Doing that will actually give me more reasons to continue doing this and trying to be as unbiased as possible. And if you see me ever becoming biased, just raise hell and let me know that I have strayed from the path. See ya.